Now this is where the fun begins. So we're gonna set up Excel to allow us to start web scraping. Woo! Yeah! Woo! So first off, I'm gonna open Excel. And VBA is actually a really powerful tool that you can do a lot with. So I already have this developer tab open. Let's see if I can hide it. Oh, I guess not. But let me show you how to get that. So that's the first thing, is you're going to want to add this developer tag. So we go to File, then go down to Options, and we want to look at our ribbon, right? So Customize Ribbon. All right, and there's a list of all of these controls. We don't want this, or commands. We want to look at tabs, right? So we dig through tabs. There's this developer tag, right? So I already have it. I have it twice because I'm not very smart, so I'm going to remove one of those. But in fact, I'll remove both. I'm going to hit developer. This shows me all of the add-ins that come with it. This will be what we're working in this Visual Basic editor. And then I'm just going to add it, and boom, right there. All right, so we hit OK, and voila, the developer tab. So now you are able to open Visual Basic, right? So Visual Basic opens this window that allows you to write code that will run in Excel. So a cool example of where a coworker of mine used this VBA web scraping is he was using it to scrape stock prices, and then had it set, VBA set, to email him if they ever fell below or rose above a certain limit, so that he could go in and either buy more or sell or whatever he wanted to do, right? So it's a cool thing. There's a lot you can do with it. In this course, we're only going over pretty basic web scraping. None of this matters, by the way. You can just kind of ignore that. Doesn't matter for you. I'm sure it's important in some fashion. And so, yeah, cool stuff. So let's do a new module. All right, so here's a module. And then we are going to do stuff. Let's see. All right, so actually let's X out of that. And let's make sure to save this as a Excel macro-enabled workbook, right? So it's a .xlsm. If you just save it as an Excel workbook, then anything you write in VBA will be lost. So definitely want to make sure to save it as a macro-enabled workbook. Okay, so I'm going to call this test and hit save, and boom, macro-enabled. We should be good, everybody. All right, and a shortcut key for opening Visual Basic is you can just do Alt F11, and that takes you right there. All right, and we want to set this up so that we can see everything we want to see in the same window, be able to troubleshoot, or pretty much just test what we're running. So let's go to window. Nope, not what I want. Here we go. So what I want to see are 3 additional windows. Well, this properties window, an immediate window, and a locals window. So let's see how I can get that. View. There we go. So we want to add immediate window, right? And then we want to add the locals window. All right. So hopefully If I can just, whatever. Hopefully you're seeing something like this. Allows you to see it. Locals will show you what your variables are assigned to, right? So if you create a variable or an object or whatever and you assign it a value, so like say I create the variable x and I say, okay, variable x equals 1, this will say over here, x equals 1, and that's probably an integer, right? And then your immediate window, when you tell the code to print stuff out, that'll pop up here, right? So if I say print hello world, then it'll show in this immediate window. And the properties list the properties for selected objects and their current settings. You can use this window to change properties. So if I wanted to rename this module, let's rename it to web scrape times. Okay. Oh, did not like that. Probably because I put a space in it. See? Learned something new every day. Web scrape times. There we go. So it's named. It's all set. And then the last thing we want to do here is import the right references. So if I go to debug, no, it'll tell me. References, edit file. Okay. I swear I know what I'm doing. Tools, references. Oh. Excuse me. All right. And so in addition to these 4, we are going to import 3 additional references that allow us to web scrape. So the first one is Microsoft internal controls. So I'm just going to scroll down to Microsoft internal controls and just check that box. And then the other one is Microsoft HTML object library. Whoop, right there. Makes it super easy. And the last one is Microsoft XML v6.0. So that'll be a bit further down. Right here. Okay. So we imported those 3 libraries, and generally speaking, what each of those are is Microsoft internal controls. Oh, internet. Wow, can I even read? Good gracious, Alex, I am so sorry. Internet controls. Notice, internet, not internal, internet. So, whoop, rewind. That is meant to, or allows you to interact with Internet Explorer, right? So that's probably one of the greatest downsides of doing this in VBA, is you're kind of stuck with Internet Explorer. But it works out, works for our needs, at least right now. So super nice. That allows you to run the internet from your VBA. Do you ever think that could be a thing? Kind of cool. You could just say, hey, Excel, do all this stuff for me, and it'll do it. Like opening a web page and taking information from that web page. But we'll get into that in a second. And then this Microsoft HTML object library is used to interact with HTML, including tasks such as finding certain tags and being able to parse through HTML code. So what that allows you to do is when you go to a web page and you say, hey, I want the HTML from this web page, it'll take that HTML and be able to read it pretty much. So it makes our lives so much easier in that it can just automatically find the things that we're looking for, as long as we know what we're looking for. And then the Microsoft XML, there we go, v6.0 allows the user to create code that can easily read through XML and HTML. So just a little quick aside, XML and HTML, super similar, right? So they look very similar. XML is more so used to store data, just in general, while HTML is almost exclusively used for like web pages. But they look very similar and thus like can work together in this case. So that's the gist of it. That allows you to get started. So in the next video, we'll actually get down and dirty and get into it further.